Habari Gani. Habari Gani. So what's the news? Okay. I don't know how. It's a meditation. Your eyes if you'd like. I don't know how my mother walked her troubles down. I don't know how my father stood his ground. I don't know how my people survived slavery. But I remember, that's why I believe. What's interesting about Kwanzaa is that it's history. And so when you ask what the news is, you care about history. You think about your history. That's why Kwanzaa came to be. I don't know why the hurricanes blow through the wind. I don't know, but I believe. My Lord comes to me in the morning dew. You know the spirits of the universe that know my name gave me a voice to sing and send me on my way. And I've been singing my song for freedom. I'll be singing my song for justice. And I'll be singing my song for love. And I believe. And I believe. Let's share a minute of silence. Let the church say, amen. Amen. I love doing that. I love doing that. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Bunga alafia, ashe, ashe. Bunga alafia, ashe, ashe. This is your part now. Bunga alafia, ashe, ashe. Bunga alafia, ashe, ashe. 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 Hey! Bunga alafia, ashe, ashe. Bunga alafia, ashe, ashe. Say, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Bunga alafia is a song that's sung in a few countries in West Africa. And it is a song of welcome. And it is also a dance. And basically, there are people coming to visit your village, and you want to welcome them. So you say, Banga, Alafia, Ashe, Ashe. With my heart, I welcome you. 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 Bonga lafia, ashe, ashe. Bonga lafia, ashe, ashe. Bonga lafia, ashe, ashe. Bonga lafia, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, 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 ashe. With my words, I welcome you. With my words, I welcome you. Hey, bonga, alafia, ashe, ashe. Bonga, alafia, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. With my arms, I welcome you. 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 And there's nothing up my sleeve. Banga alafia, ashe, ashe. Banga alafia, ashe, ashe. Banga alafia, ashe, ashe. Banga alafia, ashe, ashe. Woo! Jambo, jambo. Banga, 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 banga. So the first part of our day was celebrating Kwanzaa. Conceptualizing the historic, current, and future impact of this holiday is what I want to talk about a little bit. When Kwanzaa first came to be, it was for a purpose. It was to speak to kids and young adults about their history, to tell them your truths, to tell them your grandmother's truths, to tell them how it's been in the country. And I've done Kwanzaa both in the home, mostly in the school with kids, as they learned about the holiday, whether they were black, white, whatever they were. I want everybody to know about that. So where is Kwanzaa? I ask myself. Because for several years, I think, I've noticed that people aren't making a big hoopla as they did when Kwanzaa first began. There were, as you know, the kids' story said, there were big celebrations. There were presents. There were books. There was a big hoopla over the meal and all the vegetables and things that were harvested. And people invited friends. again, the friends didn't have to be African American. They were friends. So I usually go out and I look for the candles. Hard to find. They used to be all over the place, in every store. You didn't have to worry about it. You could get 3 black candles, and 1 black candle, 3 reds, 3 greens. And they were together sometimes because it was Kwanzaa coming. I don't know how many places I looked to see the Kwanzaa, the books, and all of that stuff, the toys for the children, specifically related to history of a Black diaspora. So I did that again a couple of days ago. I went to Barnes and Noble, and I went in and I said, then I went to customer service and I said, can you tell me where the Kwanzaa display is? I'm looking for candles, I'm looking for some books, because I have to do a sermon, and I really would like to make sure everybody enjoys it and learns the history, even though some of it is not so good, but we need to know it, and no one should not know it. I know something about the history of many different people, and the religions of many different people. I know something. So she said, okay, let me look it up. Oh. We don't have that anymore, that display. And we actually had to send the books and all of the books back to the warehouse because no one was coming in to get them. But we do have one thing. We have one thing. Okay, can you show me? In Barnes and Noble, big old store. Y'all know what this is, right? It is, and it isn't, because it's a cute little Mad Libs, you know, kids like them. My students, my younger students used to like Mad Libs. I liked it. And there's always something you learn. In this one, you learn about the different, language arts and things like that. What's suburban, what's an adjective, and put an adjective in the line and whatnot. And then at the top, they do have a little blurb on Kwanzaa. It's not bad, but it shouldn't be standing alone in a big store, especially now. That's why I waited till the kids went down. That's why we had fun. And that's why we should have fun. And that's why we should really think about what Kwanzaa could do if it were back and widespread. And people did enjoy sharing their stories. When I did Kwanzaa with the students at my school, I had them go and ask folks at home, if they had a home, a lot of them didn't, what do you do around this time? And ask folks, what can they do when I'm celebrating one thing and maybe you celebrate another? We need to know all about it. So we did that. I dressed up in all my African garb, and I had a cornucopia full of vegetables. Of course, cornucopia is not supposed to be there, but it's pretty. And I had my beautiful cup, which is the Unity Cup. And we sang, and we went into the kitchen, industrial kitchen, and we got everything that could. If a bunch of sugar came in for the cook, there was a big old barrel of some kind, plastic barrel. So we took that. We took pots, pans, and everything we could find. That's because the cook hadn't come in yet. And then we went out and we arranged ourselves in a circle and we played and sang and made up words, including me, I made up words. And that thing became a tradition. We didn't name it, but it's what people do around this time. So one little boy, his mother played accordion. I said, we're gonna have a gathering for parents too. Would she like to come play? And he was like, no. No. So this part was around Christmas, and the mother came and played. Kids were like, I don't want my mother to play. And she played carols. Can you play Jingle Bells? And then you watch her kid. I always did that. Watch the kid when the parent came and did something they love to do. And the kid went. That's what he did. That happened over and over again. I said, what does your grandma do? Tell me a story. What do they do? And there's always something. And we always learn from it. And we enjoyed learning. So what would happen if more people did things like that and shared their histories? And other folks wouldn't deny what they know to be true. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the wonderful. So anyway, I think that what needs to happen is just that. We've got to be using our voices, not only against and the other side, and you and them, and me, not that, but use your voices as we do, as Unitarians. Use your principles and share your stories. I've learned things. I've been here about 20 years, I think, a little over 20 years, a Unitarian. And I used to ask that each kid choose somebody and ask them what their story is. You remember Judy Worley? I went to her house one time, and I came out just amazed. And she was very elderly, sort of like me, only more. And she told me all about her work in the war. And she just let me have it. And I had a different feeling for her. I had different greetings when I went up to her, because I knew a little bit about her. There was one other person in here. What was his name? There was a woman who was a champion weightlifter. Do you know who I'm talking about? I mean, you don't know? Yes, yes. She used to be a champion weightlifter, and I'm looking at her. What's Julie's last name? Gould, right. I'm looking at her sit in the front when I first, came here. And she's like, I mean, she's a young woman then, too. She's enjoying herself. And then I find out, that's what kids want, and that's her history. Certainly, she did it because this guy was doing it, and she wanted to befriend the guy. So I was in college. But everybody has a story to tell, and we've got to do it. We must do it. I found out, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. I found out that over the past 20 years that I am a victim of miseducation. The things that I found out in the last 10 years, after retirement, that I didn't know about because my parents and grandparents would not tell you those things because your life was going to be better. And then I found out about Tulsa. I didn't know about Tulsa. Black Wall Street, everybody know about that? Okay, look it up. Like a town of people in Tulsa. Black folks had banks and laundromats and movie theaters and businesses. And that was not cool. So they burned that place down. And I'm like, what? I'm out consulting with people around diversity and all that kind of stuff. I did a lot of that. But I didn't know about that. I didn't know that my mother was one of the migrators who left the South and went to Washington, D.C. after she had applied for a job at the Pentagon. Some of you know this, if you know me. And she got the job. She took the civil service exam up in the attic of a post office because we couldn't take the civil service exam. Sent it to D.C., got the job. She went to D.C., they sent her back. And so my mother, being, who she is, called a young Strom Thurmond's office. And because he states rights, he's like, you don't send my South Carolina. And so she went back and she got the job. Why didn't I know all of that stuff? Because she didn't want me to have to deal with that. And my books, let's see, who did I, Benjamin Banneker, I knew, let me see, who else did I know? The people I know now are amazing. And a lot of them are being talked about by young writers, young researchers, which is really cool. So if you come across something that is interesting and you think, this is going to teach me something, and it's history, and it's true, and we won't even talk about things that did not happen, like slavery, like the Holocaust. How much do you need to know that these things happen? I'm talking to the universe. So anyway, one thing I like about Unitarians, I'm on to another thing, is that you can learn things here. I didn't know anything about Boxing Day, so I went to one of the Unitarian homes, and I learned about it. I was invited. Invite people. I've always done that. So we need it back. Does anybody have ideas about how the world would be if everybody listened to history and if everybody was proud of their history and actually shared some of the stories with the people who could stand to hear some of the stuff, not little kids and stuff? Anybody got an idea how the world might change? A lot more empathy, a lot more humility.
We understand how we are the same more than we are different.
That's what Maya said, Maya Angelou. We are more alike than we are unlike. Anybody else?
More gratitude.
More gratitude. One more. More love. So may it be. Yes. And I'll say, so may it be.